Barbers cut, trim, shampoo, and style hair, mostly for men. In this video, we're going to help you answer the question, should you become a barber in 2020? We're going to go over the latest salaries, job market statistics, and the latest trends. Coming up. Hey everyone, Stephen Hack here with CareerWatch, where I help you with your career search. If you end up enjoying the video, hit that thumbs up to support the channel. All the charts and graphs used in this video are available at my blog at www.careerwatch.co. Barbers cut, trim, shampoo, and style hair mostly for men. They also shave, add hairpieces, and give facials. Barbers are experts in using combs, scissors, straight razors, and clippers. So what is the average compensation of a barber? Well, usually they're paid an hourly rate, but then they get tips. Those tips can really add up, but first we're just going to go over the base salaries of barbers, and then we'll get into the tips a little bit later in the video. This data is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's only for employed barbers, and it's only base salaries. So in 1999, the average base salary for a barber was around $21,000 per year, and this rose to about $36,000 per year in 2019. So this is a growth of about $14,000 from 1999 to 2019. This is an average yearly wage growth to the base salary of about $700 per year. The estimated 2020 salary would be around $36,000 per year. If this trend were to continue by 2029, the average base salary of a barber would be around $42,000 per year. Also keep in mind the average base salary is different based off the state. The lowest paying state on average for barbers is the state of Nevada, where the average base salary for employed barbers is around $25,000 per year. The highest paying state for barbers the government found is the state of Maryland, where the average base salary in Maryland for employed barbers is around $58,000 per year before tips and other benefits. So there's almost a $33,000 difference between the lowest paying state and the highest paying state for employed barbers. Here's how that pay breaks down. The bottom 10% of barbers, this would kind of be like a starting salary for a barber, would be around $20,000 per year, whereas the top 10% of barbers earn around $57,000 per year as a base salary before tips. Compared to similar occupations, barbers do pretty well. They make more on average than hairdressers, hairstylists, and cosmetologists. They make more than manicurists and pedicurists, but they are beat out by skincare specialists, and they're beat out by massage therapists when looking at base salary. So that covers the base salaries of barbers, but tips are a big part of the compensation of barbers. Sometimes Always on Reddit says, I am quite busy. I've been doing hair for over 10 years. I charge $29 a cut. With my deductions and credit card tips included, I make $74,000 a year on paper before taxes, according to my paperwork last year. Dale Earnhardt says, I own a 9-barber shop, so I make $215,000 a year, but still cut 60 hours a week. We are extremely busy. My barbers make $80,000 a year each. But don't get into it for the money. Do it because you are passionate about making men look good and feel good, and also you love people. If you don't like people, it's a miserable job. Grockham3 writes, I work 3 days a week and make about $400. I could make more, but I don't really do any marketing or hustle. The woman who owns my shop makes about $1,000 a week, but she has been a barber for 45 years. It's dependent upon your location. Your ability to attract and keep customers as well is super important. I know barbers in LA and DC that make over $150,000 a year, but they also charge $50 to $60 a cut. This is just one example, but there's many barbers out there that are making more than twice their base salary. Next, let's take a look at the job market for barbers. In 1999, there was about 14,000 employed barbers. This rose to 20,000 employed barbers by 2019. There is a growth of about 6,000 employed barbers from 1999 to 2019. The reason this seems low is because 70% of barbers own their own businesses. Only 30% of barbers are working for someone else, are employed. So this is actually a pretty good occupation for people that are pretty ambitious and more entrepreneurial minded. So usually in my videos, I like to gauge how competitive different occupations are, just to warn people how hard it might be to get into an occupation. This was actually very challenging to do with barbers. I searched for barbers all across the United States using Indeed.com, and I found that there was 10,000 job openings, whereas there's 20,000 employed barbers. This is because there's just so much overlap between job postings where they want either a barber or a hairstylist. So basically this is meaningless data. We have no idea. I have no idea how competitive, how hard it is to get into this occupation, or how saturated it is. So what does it take to become a barber? Well, every state requires barbers to be licensed. Most positions require a high school diploma, but not all do. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics surveyed the education of barbers in 2017, and this is what they found. They found that 12% of barbers had less than a high school diploma, 45% had a high school diploma or equivalent, 28% had some college, 10% an associate's degree, and 5% a bachelor's degree. So higher education for this occupation is definitely optional. So what kind of people actually become barbers? Well, if you haven't done a RIASEC assessment yet, definitely do. There's quite a few free ones online. Basically, you do these assessments and it tells you where you fall in 6 different occupational themes, and then you can compare your results with people in different occupations. So barbers typically score high in the realistic, conventional, and enterprising themes. People that score high in the realistic theme tend to describe themselves as reliable, practical, thrifty, persistent, reserved, and self-reliant. They're motivated by building, repairing, and being outdoors. People that score high in the conventional theme describe themselves as practical, organized, conscientious, orderly, and careful. They're often motivated by organizing and managing information. And people that score high in the enterprising theme tend to describe themselves as ambitious, competitive, persuasive, assertive, and energetic. And they are often motivated by persuading, selling, and leading. And this makes sense. 70% of barbers own their own business. So this could be a great occupation for someone that is a little bit more entrepreneurial. So as you can see, there's pros and cons to becoming a barber in 2020. This is a great occupation for the entrepreneurial minded. 70% of barbers are self-employed. This is way more proportionally than dentists, electricians, plumbers. I can't actually think of another occupation that has so many people in it that are self-employed. Wages for barbers have been rising over the past 20 years. They've risen by about $15,000 over the past 2 decades. But also keep in mind, tips are a huge part of the compensation of barbers. In fact, many barbers earn more in tips than their base wage. Are you a barber? What do you enjoy about this occupation, and what do you dislike about this occupation? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.